Good morning. I have only heard from the girls' dorm and the cafeteria. If the other groups are on, please respond to the group text message I sent. I'm looking for Mr. Carville, Mr. McQuiston, Dean Sigsworth, and the boys' dorm. And I know Dean Rom is not there, so hopefully somebody has that up and working. All right, Mr. Carville's on. Mr. Moffett, if you can let me know if you're on in the boys' dorm. Sigsworth is on, McQuiston's in, and the girls' dorm can't hear. Boys' dorm is on. So now I'm just waiting for Mrs. States to tell me that she can hear in the girls' dorm. Hang on. We're going to call Mrs. States. Here. Talk to her and see why she can't connect. I don't think they have a sound bar in there. I think it's just a TV. Does she know the volume's up?
Is the volume up on the TV?
Can listen to the tech support call. Matthew Picula doing his magic. You just have to mute the TV. The TV itself is muted. They can try disconnecting and reconnecting. Because I think everyone else, the volume is good. Am I right? And Jamie States says she's watching. That's good. Did you get your phone out during chapel, Jamie States? You're taking attendance. You're excused. Just one moment, waiting for that last group to get connected. What can I do in the meantime? That's not a good idea. Tell a joke. A dad joke. I don't remember jokes very well. Let me see what I can find. I'm not here right now. She's. I'm getting some.
So you feel like the volume can be up on the TV, but it's like a mute button on the.
That's horrible. Okay, that's her. Not worth it.
Yeah, it's on TV.
I don't know why they would say. That was not a good joke.
Hey, just so you know, all of that's being broadcast, so just a little bit. Hang on, they're working out the volume in the girls' dorm. Let's see. All right, here's one. I got one. These are groaners, okay? What did the triangle say to the circle? You're pointless.
Oh, yes.
How does a mathematician plow fields? With a protractor. Oh. Yeah.
You have both the TV unmuted and you
They power off the TV and power it back on.
So we'll have some projectors down
Is there anything else plugged into that TV? Any HDMI or anything that's...
the TV. The Apple TV is like practice on.
I would unplug the power from the Apple TV and turn the TV off, power them all back on, and then reconnect. Just a moment. We'll read you a few more math jokes while they're getting that worked out.
Yeah, Christmas jokes.
Christmas jokes. Christmas jokes. The math jokes are really good, and I'm a little disappointed.
Put Christmas music for it.
They have sound now.
They have sound?
Yeah.
Oh, they're in. I don't know what they did different.
I don't know either.
Okay, yes, I'm sorry. The fan sound is coming from my computer. Oh, that's probably the reason. Hang on. Oh, and an illustrator. I have too many things open. I'm sorry. Just 1 second, and I will be with you. Hopefully that will help. All right, we are ready to begin. Finally, we will start with our Pledge of Allegiance. So, if you would join me now, I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, today is SA Chapel, and so the SA is coming around to help lead us in the school song. Coming around.
What if we each might take that would be adorable.
Are you all? You're not all in there. There you go. I'll try to move it a little bit more. There we go. All right. Who's gonna get it started?
Down in the southern mountains, where the French broad flows, in the hills of North Carolina, where the
Getting that straight.
laurel grows, there's a school where lads and lassies come from far and near. There's a school of closest friendship that we all hold dear. School of the mountains, school of standards high. Rah, rah, rah! Ideals and courage, faith and loyalty. School of the mountains, school of standards high. Fletcher Academy. Who's school? Fletcher School.
Yeah.
I can fix that like
Okay, so now we have some announcements this week. We have Christmas break transportation. You need to sign up for Christmas break transportation no later than this coming Monday at 5 p.m. At that point, the link on the website will no longer work. You'll have to make a direct phone call or visit the Academy office, and there's a $10 late fee if you have to sign up after that point. So make sure to tell your parents to sign you up or to go take care of it yourself, but get that done before Monday at 5 o'clock. What is that? Oh my goodness. All right. Matthew Bakula, there's some trouble for you. It's coming. Just believe you me, I still am in control, and you will get yours. Exam passes are available on Friday. Merry Christmas, and wait till you get them. Okay. That is coming this Friday and Monday. You can get exam passes. You have to have it before you pick your first one on Tuesday. So come to the front office to get your exam pass. Make sure all of your, any fines, any fees, your finance, all that stuff is taken care of. So, yes. Exam week is Friday. This Friday is a Monday schedule before exam week, and Monday is a Tuesday schedule. Those are regular school days, and then exam week starts on Tuesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and then half of Thursday is exam week, and then you go home for Thanksgiving. Oh, excuse me, for Christmas. So remember, this Friday is a Monday schedule, or you could call it a Wednesday schedule. That's the same schedule. So that's how it's going to be this week, and Monday will be a Tuesday schedule. Tuesday is a Tuesday schedule. Wednesday is a Wednesday schedule, and Thursday is the modified one. Exam week dress code. Tuesday and Wednesday is uniform day. Friday will be jeans day next week. So you can wear jeans on Friday next week. You can wear shorts if you want to. You can wear jumpsuits. You can wear pajamas. Whatever you want to wear next Friday is up to you. You're good with that. So just make sure your family's okay with it, because you'll be at home. Just kidding. I'm going to let you wear jeans next Thursday. The last day of school is jeans day. If you don't have an exam, good for you. That's the actual truth. Thursday will be jeans day. You can also wear jeans on Friday of next week if you want, and send a picture. Yeah. Campus Ministries, this weekend we have Christmas Vespers this Friday night at 7:30. That will be an enjoyable event. There's lots of singing and maybe some scripture and some other spoken words. I'm not sure. 11th Hours, I know, singing some, and other small groups. So that would be an enjoyable festive time. Come and enjoy that fellowship at 7:30, Vespers attire. This Sabbath, we have breakfast. This is kind of the normal routine. Afternoon activity will be determined from 2 to 4 o'clock in the ad building. And that concludes our announcements for today. And we are ready to have prayer, and then your speaker will present to you. Oh, there is. Pause 1 minute. There is a couple more announcements. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I know sometimes in the dorm it's kind of hard to make time. First of all, to make our busy schedules, it's hard to find times to make anything anyways. But being in a dorm, there's a kitchen in the dorm, but it's still kind of hard. You don't exactly necessarily have like a full kitchen with everything, so actually making stuff is kind of hard. But there's one simple one that I'm going to share with you guys. Alright, so chia pudding. It's really easy to make. The ingredients for one serving is you take literally 2 tablespoons of chia seeds or chia seeds. I'm not sure which way. I've heard people say both. And half a cup of any kind of milk, and basically just mix them together and leave them preferably overnight, but for at least 4 hours. And if you think that the consistency with all the little seeds is kind of weird, you can literally blend it and it will be exactly like a normal pudding, but a lot healthier. And you can add anything you want, whatever you want in it, dried fruit, maple syrup, or nuts, anything like that. And so, yeah, the benefits of chia seeds, there's lots of nutrients in high amounts, some of them. They have a high antioxidant content, lots of fiber, they're 14% protein, high in omega-3s, which are very important for brain health, and more. So why am I telling you this today? Because there's finals next week. And there are lots of things that our brain needs to be able to work optimally. And so there's a list here with all kinds of foods that have a variety of things your brain needs. Some have antioxidants, some have different just nutrients or minerals. So yeah, make sure you eat lots of these things leading up to finals. It'll help your brain work better.
All right.
Hey guys! I hope everyone's doing well. So really quick before we get started, Mr. Wilhelm wanted me to tell you guys that the activity on Saturday begins at 2:30, not the time that was told. Yeah, it was told it was 2 o'clock, but it's actually 2:30. So, now we can get started. So, I think it's crazy that this is the last chapel of the year, last chapel of 2020. And as I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, I was like, I should talk about like living one day at a time, you know, appreciating life, Matthew 6:34, don't worry about tomorrow. And it just wasn't really sitting right with me. I just wasn't feeling 100% about it. And then Sunday night, I was scrolling through some videos, you know, procrastinating. And I came across a video that was like, look up these Bible verses. So I was like, you know what, why not? So I did. And the Bible verses had to do a lot with like loneliness and God being our rock. And I was like, bam, there it is. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about loneliness. And so I'm going to be very vulnerable with you guys today. I'm going to be open with you guys. And this is obviously not for any kind of sympathy. This is so that you guys can understand that you're not the only ones going through this. Other people are going through this. And hopefully by the end of this, we'll have a solution to this and you guys will get something out of it. So with that, let's pray. Dear God, I just pray that today, as I speak, that these be your words. I thank you that I had the opportunity to do this, and I thank you that you have carried me this far, Lord. There's been so many complications, Lord, but you still pulled me through, and I just pray that, again, these are your words, not mine, and that people get a blessing out of this. Amen. So, I would say that these feelings of loneliness, emptiness, void, whatever you would like to call it, started probably around quarantine, right? Because you think about quarantine and nobody liked that. That was just a really rough time for everyone. And I'd say this is when I started feeling it. It wasn't very strong. It was just a little dull ache because I didn't have my friends around. And then summer came along and, you know, I was just really focused on living my best life over the summer, you know, just having an amazing time, being happy. I was so focused on trying to be happy this summer. And I spent the summer with some great friends of mine. They're all amazing. But I noticed that every time I came home from hanging out with them or doing stuff with them, I'd always have this reoccurring feeling of just emptiness and void. And it wasn't very strong at first, you know, it was just kind of like a little dull ache. And I would get home and I was kind of like, oh, you know, like now I'm not happy anymore. And as summer progressed, this lonely feeling continued to get stronger and stronger. And I noticed that even when I was with my friends, that I still wasn't as happy as I could be. And then school started, and it just continued to go downhill. I would be with like a group of friends or whatever, and I'd feel better if I was by myself than if I was with them. And that's nothing against my friends. My friends are all absolutely amazing, more than I could ask for. It was just something that I personally was struggling, something within. And so then I decided that I would try feeling this void I felt with bad alternatives. I tried all kinds of things to just make me feel something, to fill the void, to give me fulfillment in life. And these alternatives ended up not only hurting me, but also hurting other people that I loved and care about. And so it just ended up a terrible mess. And not only was I lonely, but I was also guilty now. And so all of these feelings were combining, and it was just a downward spiral. And so I felt like it would be a really good thing to talk about for chapel, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's felt like this, that's dealt with this kind of stuff. I've talked to some of you guys, and I hear the same things out of your mouths, right? That you have this empty feeling, this like lack of fulfillment in life. And I was like, dang, I thought I was the only one that was going through this. And since I'm not, I think it's good to share this with a lot of people. So there's a quote by Les Carter, and it says, "Loneliness is a feeling of separation, isolation, or distance in human relations. Loneliness implies emotional pain, an empty feeling, and a yearning to feel understood and accepted by someone." And I'm sure that many of you guys have related to this at one point in your lives. Maybe it's now, maybe it's been in the past, and you still just haven't felt yourself. Some of the causes of loneliness, these are just a couple, but I think these are some of the main ones. But one, people have left your life, whether it's a relationship and they left, whether it's a friendship and they left, they moved away, whatever it was, or maybe someone died. It doesn't really matter how, just the fact that somebody left your life can really leave you feeling lonely and having an emptiness. Number 2 is change in lifestyle, right? If you move away from an area, you move into a new area, you're going to have these feelings of loneliness from time to time. Also, quarantine is a change in lifestyle. None of us were ready for that. None of us were expecting that, but that's definitely a change in lifestyle that I think definitely messed with some of us. Sometimes loneliness just develops over time, you know? That's kind of how it was with me. I didn't really know what was happening, but it happened. It did happen. And then finally, lack of God in life is one of the biggest reasons that we feel lonely. And not having God as the center core will leave many of us feeling like we lack fulfillment. And so as I was doing my research on this topic, because I didn't know much about this topic, especially what it said in the Bible about it, I looked up Bible characters that also dealt with like this lonely, isolated feeling, and I came across Jeremiah. And I knew absolutely nothing about Jeremiah before researching it. I knew he was a prophet, but that was it. But I actually learned that God had forbidden him to marry or have kids. I did not know that. God had obviously a very good reason for it, and he was looking out for Jeremiah, because in Jeremiah 16, you can read about it if you'd like, but God said, I don't want you getting married or having kids, because the kids of this land are diseased, the wives are diseased, and if you are to have kids, they will end up dying, and God didn't want Jeremiah to go through that. So God had a very valid reason. He was just looking out for Jeremiah. But nonetheless, Jeremiah still had no wife. He had nobody to talk to, nobody to show his love to, right? He had no kids, and I don't have any kids, but from what I've heard, kids bring a lot of fulfillment in life. He didn't have any kids, and he didn't have any friends, because he was living in a land where basically everyone hated him. Because if you've read Jeremiah, a lot of chapters in it is just God's wrath, because Israel was not doing what they're supposed to. And so he didn't have any friends either. So he didn't have anybody to talk to, and he probably had a feeling of lack of fulfillment. But, and you can even read about it in Jeremiah 15:10, where he's kind of ranting a little bit. He says, what a terrible situation I'm in. Why did my mother ever even give birth to me? The whole country is against me. I have to argue with everyone about the condition of our people. In all my dealings, I have never taken advantage of anyone, yet they all curse me as if I had. And so Jeremiah obviously goes through a lot of struggles because he has nobody except for God, which is good. He has God, but he still lacks that human connection, right? But even though he was going through all of this, he never sought out earthly or artificial things to fill the void. He never went to drugs or alcohol. He never went to prostitutes for validation. He just stuck with God. And that is an absolutely amazing example of what we should also be doing. And God took care of him. God pulled him out of it every single time. God always took care of him. So in these last couple of weeks in Jesus in the Gospels, we have been talking about the Sermon on the Mount. And a couple of students brought out some really good points. And I really like the way they said this. They said that we have a God-shaped void in our lives. And I completely agree with that. I never thought about it that way before, but we do. And we as humans spend our entire lives trying to fill that void with earthly things, whether it's drugs, alcohol, media, technology, other people. And we try to fill this void. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it satisfies us for a little bit, but we are never 100% satisfied unless we have God filling that void. Even C.S. Lewis says something about it. One of my classmates brought up this quote, and I absolutely love it. It says, when we worship what is not God, it can become a demon that we hate, but can't quite seem to let go of. And I just thought that's just such a powerful quote, because we try all these earthly things to fill this emptiness that we feel in life. And where does it get us? It gets us nowhere. We end up more sad than we were before, and it's a constant cycle because we go back to these artificial things. I don't know if you guys have ever been through this, but I know I have. Even though it doesn't bring me 100% fulfillment or happiness, I continue to go back to it because it brought me a little bit of happiness. And I just continue finding myself drawn to it because it brought me a little happiness. Maybe I can get a little bit more out of it. And it's a constant cycle, and it's the same thing with people, right? When we depend on people for our happiness, people, as sad as it is, people leave our lives, whether it's because of their own personal reasons, whether they have to, whatever the reason may be, people leave. And not all the time, but sometimes. And God sees this, and he knows this, and he wants to be the rock that we depend on, because he sees us constantly getting hurt in this cycle. And he knows that these artificial things in life are going to backfire on us. It's like, for example, if you have like a hole, right? And you fill this with a person or multiple people, and eventually over time, your happiness is going to start to depend on these people. And if for some reason those people leave your life, they now take your happiness with them. And there's, once again, a hole there, if not even bigger than it was before. And so the point I'm trying to make here is we should receive happiness and fulfillment from God, because people and going out of our life is not going to bring us fulfillment. And even if people do leave our lives, we still have God as our core. We have him as our rock, right? And if these people leave, we still have him there. And yes, it's still going to probably hurt a little bit, but it's not going to hurt nearly as bad as if we didn't have God there. And Colossians 2:10, I love this verse. It says, "It is in him that you are complete." That's absolutely beautiful. We seek so many things to complete ourselves, and God literally says in the Bible, "You are complete in me." And it continues on to say, "And it is from him that you receive all essential knowledge that you need to be saved." Even Ellen G. White says something about it. She says, "Many today do the same thing. Jesus is right beside them, but their tear-filled eyes do not see him. He speaks to them, but they just don't understand." And I feel like we do that so often. We sit here in our sorrow and sadness and loneliness, just wondering why we don't feel complete, right? And God is sitting there wishing that we would just turn to him and choose him to fill that void. Now, what I'm not saying is you should not have relationships and not have friendships. God created us to have friendships and relationships, and he wants us to have that connection, right? In Genesis, he says that he created Eve for Adam, for them to be together. It talks about in Ecclesiastes, I forget exactly what chapter it is, but it says that people are meant to be together because we are stronger when we are united. And so I'm not saying we should not have friendships and relationships. I'm saying that we should have God as the center, as the core, to bring us fulfillment. And once we have that, and once we feel grounded in him, then I think we should have those other friendships and those relationships, whatever they may be, because God is being the source of your happiness, not people. Because at the end of the day, we're all sinful, you know? And we cannot bring the same fulfillment that God can bring us. So it's like dessert, if you think about it, right? We love dessert, and we have dessert at the end of the meal, and it's pretty great. It complements the meal very well. But if you were to have that dessert as the entire meal, you would not feel very satisfied, and you would not feel very good. You'd feel probably sick about it. That's how it is with people. If you have people as the only source of fulfillment and other substances as your only source of fulfillment, you're not going to ever feel 100% fulfilled. So the point I'm trying to make, as cliche as it may sound, I'm sure you guys probably saw this coming, but God fills your loneliness. And if you feel this loneliness, you feel this emptiness, he can fill it, and he can give you a purpose. And I know it's hard because you need to have a relationship with God in order for this to happen. And I want you guys to have that relationship with God. And it's not going to be easy at first. Like, if you were to make a friend, they're not going to bring you happiness and fulfillment the first couple of days. It's a process. It takes time. And that's exactly how it is with God. It takes time for us to draw closer to him. And as he becomes that source of fulfillment in our lives, we start to thrive off of him and what he gives us. So what I'm trying to do is start y'all's relationship with God. And it's hard, I understand, and I feel like an accountability partner may be helpful. So what I've done is starting, I haven't decided exactly when I'll start, but I'll send out a notification about that. But starting soon, I don't know if in January, probably January, because we're pretty busy this next couple weeks. But starting in January, I have a sign-up sheet downstairs where you can put your name and your phone number, and we'll be going through the book of Ecclesiastes. We'll start there. And all I'm asking is you just start with one chapter a week. You just read one chapter so we can get that base for that relationship with God. And I will be your accountability partner. So you put your name and your number down, and I will be texting you guys throughout the week, at the end of the week, to see if you guys have read it and what you gain out of it, if you want to talk about that. And so that we can get those relationships started. Because I know personally I'm so tired of feeling this lonely feeling and this emptiness and this lack of fulfillment. And knowing that God can bring that to me is a really exciting feeling, and I want to start that relationship. So I'm starting that relationship, or continuing that relationship with God as well with you guys. And then also down there in January, I'm wanting to start a girls' Bible study. I've heard from some of you that if I were to start that, you guys would be interested. So I have a little sign-up sheet for that as well. If you just put your name down, so I can get like a rough idea of who would want to be included in that. That doesn't mean that you're for sure going to be at it, just that you would consider it. So I will have those down there. I hope you guys take me up on this offer. I hope you guys start this relationship with God or continue it, whatever it may be, because this feeling is not fun. It's not fun to feel lonely and empty, and knowing that there's a solution to this is really exciting. So I hope you guys put your names down there, and I hope you guys got something out of this. And with that, we will pray. Dear God, I just pray today that this talk touch people, and I pray that you impress upon their hearts to write their name and write their number down, and I pray that you also help me as their accountability partner to hold them to that, so that we can all get closer to you, because God, you offer us such an amazing gift and blessing, and all we have to do is just take you up on it. So I pray that you help us with this, help us with our feelings of loneliness. If there's people out there, I pray that you inspire them to either go to you or go to me or go to somebody important that they need to talk to. And I pray that you help them with that and help them with this journey. And also please bless the food and help the nourish and strengthen our bodies. Amen.